Lesson 26, division algorithm. Okay, so when you are doing long division, some of you asked, we're doing long division today. Yes, we are. Okay, when you do long division, you need to remember the order: division, multiply, subtract, compare, and bring down. Some sayings that we use to help us remember the order is, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Sometimes we also have dad, mom, sister, brother, okay? Because sometimes we don't do that compare part. As you get a little older, we leave that part out because you start getting more fluent with your division skills, okay? But for now, we're taking it one little step at a time. Yes?
It can be dad, mom, sister, cat, brother.
That would work. I was thinking cousin.
That's exactly.
I was thinking cousin too. All right, so our first example. This school bought 3 printers that cost the same amount for a total of $852. What was the price of each printer? So because I have a total amount here, I know that I'm going to be breaking that total amount into parts. Okay, how many parts am I breaking it up into? 3 parts. Okay, can I easily, the other day when we did lesson 25, we were grouping things into small groups. We had like this is all in a group. Okay. Would this type of visual drawing help us with this problem? No, because why? I got a lot of those. Okay, I need 152 of those. That's way too much work. So we are not going to do that. We're going to use long division. So I'm going to take 852 and I'm going to divide it by 3 because there are 3 printers that I'm splitting it into, okay? So the total cost is $852. 852 is what part of my division problem? Is it the divisor, the dividend, or the quotient? Raise your hand if you know. Luke?
Which one are you talking about?
852.
Oh, wait, right now.
It's the divisor. Quotient, the dividend.
It is the dividend. Very good. The dividend is inside the division house. Which part is my divisor? Right here, Sammy.
3.
3 is my divisor. Divisor's always on the outside. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. So we are solving for the quotient. Okay, so when I do something like this, I want to start one digit at a time. So I'm going to start with 3 into 8. Can 3 divide into 8? 2 times. So I put a 2 up there. This is where the multiplication part comes in.
3 times 2 is 6.
Yep. 3 times 2 is 6. This is where I subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, cool. Everything look good? Then I need to bring down. Bring that 5 down. What happens to 2 now? 2 turns into 25. So now what I'm doing is I am dividing 3 into 25. Okay, if you need to rewrite this, I have seen some people do like another division problem so you can just visualize what you're doing. You can do that if it helps you understand that you're dividing 3 into 25. But where will my answer go? The very, very top. So how many times can 3 go into 25?
8.
8. Do that on your board. You're doing it with me. Okay, what is 3 times 8?
24.
24. Okay, this is where I've got to subtract. I have 1 left over and
Bring down the 2.
bring down the 2. Okay, again, some people like to do this part here so you can understand that you're dividing 3 into 12. That is okay. But where does my answer for 3 into 12 go?
Up top.
We'll go at the top.
The very top. And what do I write?
And R.
4. 3 goes into 12 4 times. What is 3 times 4? It's exactly 12. Do I have a remainder?
No, ma'am.
No. So my answer is $284. Question? Okay, here's our next problem. This time I want you to try it on your own, on your whiteboard. Then we'll check over it step by step. The problem says, A group of teachers is planning a field trip for 234 students. The students will travel on 5 school buses. Is it possible for each bus to carry the same number of students? Check your answer by multiplying. So first solve it, then check your answer. Okay, work this on your whiteboard. If you're at home, pause, and then play when you have what you think might be the answer. Okay, what I've seen on a lot of your papers, you guys set it up correctly. You had 234 divided by 5. Great start. Okay. Some of you then had this. Okay, well what that tells me is that you think that 5 goes into 2 4 times. Does 5 go into 2 4 times? No, it does not. Okay, here's what you need to do. You need to put a 0 here. This is my placeholder 0. 5 goes into 2 0 times. If you want to show your work for this so that you don't make a mistake with lining everything up, you can actually do the multiplication part. 5 times 0 is 0. Then subtract, then bring down. Okay, I a lot of times will, since I've been dividing for so long, I'm so old, guys, because I've done this. I've practiced this a lot. Once you get the hang of that and you understand, you can put your placeholder here and you can then just focus on 5 going into 23 and you can avoid this whole step. Until you feel comfortable with that, until you don't make mistakes dividing, I would include that step so you don't leave something out, because I saw a lot of people with 4 right here in this place, and that would be incorrect. Okay, we're going to keep going. Now, how many times can 5 go into 23? 4 times. Good. So yes, a lot of you knew that 5 went into 23 4 times. You just had the 4 in the wrong place. So 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract and bring down. 3 now turns into 34. How many times can 5 go into 34? 6. What is 5 times 6? 30. And so I have a remainder 4. Okay, so my question says, is it possible for each bus to carry the same number of students? No. The answer would be no. Good job. Why? Can somebody raise your hand and explain? Because there's a remainder of 4. I've got 4 students that are just like, oh, take me. What about me?
They're sick.
Okay, that doesn't work. Okay.
Students are sick.
Now, could I check my answer? Even though I have a remainder, can I check my answer by using multiplication?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to take 46. I'm going to multiply it by 5.
And then add 4.
And then add the remainder back. So 5 times 4 is 20 plus the 3 is 23. And add my remainder over here. And so I end up with 234, which is right where I started. Yes.
At first I didn't do any work for this because I thought it was a little bit easier because 5, like it can do other 5s and 0s in numbers and not 4s. And like 5s, like say like you're doing this, what I did is I like checked out the 4, and because like 5 times 5 equals 25, that's half of what it is times 10. And that's kind of what I did. I did like times 5, what's 32, what's 23 times 5, and then I did it's kind of.
Did you do 5 times 20 to get 100, and then 5 times 3 to get 15, and then you got 115?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's using just logic and reasonableness to figure out, to answer the question without even doing any math yet. Okay. He is using math number sense. Okay. But he's not writing anything down. So when you have 234, because 234 does not end in a 0 or a 5, we know automatically it cannot be divided evenly by 5. We talked about our divisibility rules last week. Okay, so because of that, we automatically know the answer is no. But because it said to check your answer by multiplying, we needed to actually have an answer so that we could then check the answer. Okay, so you still have to go through the steps in order to check it. Good job, guys. Okay, what about this? 5n equals 365. What does that mean? 5 times what? Good. So 5 times what is 365? Work this on your whiteboards. We'll check it together. Okay, so some people are kind of getting stuck. This is what I see on everybody's paper so far. 365 divided by 5. Everybody knew how to set it up. That's great. That's step 1. So you have to know how to set it up. Some people were getting stuck on this first part. You're like, okay, I remember like 5. I know can't go into 3, so I know I'm supposed to put a 0 here. 5 times 0 is 0. I'm left with 3. Great. Okay, now what? Well, don't forget, bring down. That 3 turns into 36. Now you're looking at the problem 5 into 36. How many times can 5 divide into 36? 7 times. What is 5 times 7?
35.
35. Now I'm at the subtraction part.
So then
Bring down the 5. My new problem looks like this. How many times can 5 divide into 15?
3.
3 times. What is 5 times 3?
15.
Exactly 15. So my answer is 73.
So I remember how I figured it out with doing any work. So 36 plus 36 equals 72, and there's another 5 by that, which would equal 1 more. Like I did plus 70, so I did 72 plus 1 because 5. That's a 5. That'd be an extra 1, and that's why I got 72.
So here's how I did it in my head, because you can do it in your head.
Yeah.
5 times what gives you an answer close to 36? I know 5 times 7 is 35. I have 1 left over. So if I just tack that 1 on to 5, it makes it 15. 5 I know goes in 15 3 times, so it would be 73. Okay, you can break up that number and do things in your head. That's the whole point, developing number sense to be able to use mental math. But is it always a good idea to use mental math?
No.
No, sometimes you need to write it down and you need to be able to check your work. If you use mental math, you better check it. Make sure you didn't make a mistake, okay? Here's our next problem, our last problem for today that we're going to do together. 3 students collected aluminum cans and were paid $8.85 by a recycling center for those cans. The income is to be divided equally. What amount of money should each student receive? We're going to check our answer by working backwards and multiplying. Okay, so do we have a total amount? $8.85. Okay, what other piece of information do I know? 3 students. Okay, show me how to write this problem, how to set it up on your whiteboards. Good. Don't forget your decimals. You're talking about money, not $885. It's $8.85. So everybody had this. Then you can start dividing 1 digit at a time. Y'all go ahead and work this out. We'll check it together. Okay, so a lot of you were able to start, and you did 3 goes into 8 2 times. I know 3 times 2 is 6. I subtract up. I'm stuck. What do I do?
Bring down.
You bring down. Bring down the next digit. 2 now becomes 28, so I can divide 3 into 28. How many times can 3 divide into 28? 9 whole times. What is 3 times 9? 27. I have 1 left over. Am I done? No, I need to bring down the 5. So 1 turns into 15. Some of you don't have 5 written down. You wrote down a different number. Okay. You bring the 5 straight down. 3 goes into 15 how many times? 5 whole times. What is 3 times 5?
15.
15. Do I have a remainder? No. Okay, so I have 295. What's wrong with my answer?
$2.95.
Yes, it should be $2.95. That's why it says right here, check your answer by multiplying. Okay, we've got to check our answer. So if you had done 200, I just accidentally erased that. If you had done 295 times 3, you would have ended up with 885.
Whoa.
Not $8.85. So don't forget your decimal there. So we can check it. $2.95 times 3. We check it and we end up with $8.85. So that means that $2.95 is the correct answer.
I was right here.
Checking your work takes time. I get it, guys, but it saves you from making a mistake. Okay, if you check your work and it doesn't end up where you started, you know something happened. You did something wrong or you forgot something. Please take the time to check your work. Okay? All right. Your assignment A is on pages 179 to 180. You're doing all of the written practice 1 through 30. Again, numbers 1 through 3 require you to write an equation before you solve it. Okay? I'm going to pass out your papers to you. As soon as you get it, you can begin.